thought this was supposed to be the most advanced security system on the planet.
Well, Blizzard, I told you not to do it. It's never going to go well. But you still went ahead and did it. And look what you ended up at. Hello friends, this is Kicks here. And today we are going to be talking about Battlenet and its rebranding. So apparently what happened was that Blizzard dropped the brand name Battlenet and then few months later changed its mind and adopted it back again. Now I know this is an off topic and it's nothing to do with games, but trust me, this is going to be super exciting. You see, I'm myself from an advertising and a marketing background and I just could not let this one slip by. So let's get started. To give you a little background, Battlenet was a service initially launched with Diablo on November 30th, 1996. It started off by offering only a few basic services like chatting and game listings. Players could connect to the service, talk with other gamers, play together, and it served as an online matchmaker for all Blizzard games. Battlenet service was a pioneer in online gaming, predating other early online gaming platforms like Xbox Live, Steam, and PSN by half a decade or more. It not only facilitated breakthrough online multiplayer gaming, but created a vibrant social experience way before Facebook and other social networks came into existence. And then there was the release of StarCraft, which increased the usage of Battlenet service significantly. New innovative features such as ladder ranking and game filters were added to the service. Battlenet grew even larger after the release of StarCraft's expansion pack, Brood War. With tens of thousands of players logged on at any given time, this trend continued with Warcraft 3 and then World of Warcraft. Needless to say, Battlenet pioneered online multiplayer gaming and it was years ahead of anything on the market. For 20 years, it connected friends and created so many fond memories for players across the globe. Battlenet became so freakishly big that to help users protect their Battlenet accounts, Blizzard had to implement a two-factor authentication option for the service. So why change the brand that has been around since 1996? But sadly, on September 21st, 2016, Blizzard Entertainment had this bright idea of erasing 20 years of their most celebrated legacy and announced that it would be retiring the Battlenet brand to focus just on Blizzard as their main brand for all their current and upcoming services. So instead of Battlenet, it would be known as Blizzard Tech, while their streaming service will be known as Blizzard Streaming, etc., etc.
You idiot! How could you? Don't you have any sense at all?
Now, I can imagine the heated conversations between Blizzard's management and the over-enthusiastic marketing nutheads who would have pitched that Battlenet sounds too old and it's not hip enough and should be dropped and rebranded as under the same brand name as Blizzard, so as to avoid confusions and inefficiencies related to having two separate identities under which everything falls, that is Blizzard and Battlenet. So Battlenet's service was changed to Blizzard Tech, and on March 24, 2017, the client-based desktop app known as the Battlenet Launcher was officially renamed to Blizzard App. Simple, convenient, and consistent with Blizzard's brand name. What are the chances of going wrong with that, right? Needless to say, what followed was a mass boycott of the name. An unprecedented backlash over a simple name change. People gathered on Reddit, Blizzard's official forums, and other popular social media to publicly denounce the unholy act of Blizzard dropping the name Battlenet. This was warranted. I mean, the name has connected millions of players together. It is a name that people have fond memories attached to. It was more than just nostalgia. People strongly identified with Battlenet, and their Battlenet tag was their pride, their achievement, their very own legacy. Save Battlenet campaigns started running through Facebook and other popular social media. The players' decision was fast, unanimous, and straightforward. All players, including myself, refused to call Battlenet anything other than Battlenet, no matter what new sticker Blizzard stuck onto it. And it was all because we could not relate to anything other than Battlenet. We were so obsessively in love with the brand. To be fair to the marketing people at Blizzard, it is true that Battlenet had expanded to sport, storefront actions, social interactions, matchmaking, game streaming, and even a desktop client. So for the sake of consistency and efficiency, the move made sense for Blizzard to change it to something that is more suited to what Battlenet currently did. But sometimes it is better to ignore what your conventional advertising/branding logic tells you. Blizzard needed to understand that sometimes the tried and tested branding advice can be counterintuitive. While the service had expanded and added myriad options over the years, its name still held on, which is a true testament of an awesome branding. While true that .NET sounds dated and is not hip enough, it is still delightfully familiar and has brand recognition and brand trust that has built over the years and has connected millions of players across the globe. The purpose of rebranding was in good intent. It was an effort to both respect the shared history of the platform as well as align Blizzard's marketing and branding under the same name. It is true that from a marketing perspective, having two separate identities not only creates confusion but is increasingly difficult to maintain. It is also true that logistically it's more expensive to push two different brands in the market and to maintain two different trademarks. But sometimes the exact opposite is true. Sometimes a brand becomes so big and so widely accepted that it becomes synonymous with the utility it provides. Just like Google has become synonymous with search. We generally tend to say Google it rather than saying search it. So in these rare cases, it is more prudent to hold on to that particular brand name for that particular service. Battlenet has become synonymous to its online multiplayer service, so much so that forcing us to accept something other than Battlenet was like asking a fish to fly. Maybe Blizzard over the years could convince us that it is okay to call Battlenet not Battlenet. But the problem was that Blizzard's own employees did not get the memo. Internally, Blizzard's own employees were still calling Battlenet, well, Battlenet. So much so that over the months the name kept creeping up in the official marketing materials and across the company's websites and forums. It was like no one, including Blizzard's very own devs, were ready to replace Battlenet. Now, I'm sure it was without any malicious intent, and Blizzard employees were certainly not rebelling against the name. It was merely attributed to the fact that Battlenet was so deeply entrenched in their minds that they subconsciously ended up using it over and over again, leaving the fans and the media confused as to the purpose of the new platform. Media outlets were so confused as to how to report it that our ICA clearly stated that they were going to continue using the well-known name Battlenet until Blizzard stops calling it Battlenet. And then came the Destiny 2 announcement in May, when both Activision and Blizzard used the term Battlenet repeatedly in the Destiny 2 announcement for PC through Blizzard's Battlenet service. It was like Blizzard was ignoring its own branding standards. Even the announcement's blog post was headlined Destiny 2 coming to Battlenet in big bold letters. Plus, it was noted that Battlenet branding was used 4 effing times in the body text, and apparently Blizzard failed to mention Blizzard app or anything similar even once. When media outlets inquired Blizzard about it, a Blizzard's representative clearly stated that it is still called Blizzard app, they just made an exception this time around. But then Blizzard's face, its president, its co-founder, its CEO, Mike Morhaime, dropped the bomb. During the big Destiny 2 reveal stream, Mike used the term Battlenet while announcing that Destiny 2 would be exclusive to Battlenet. He went on to add, Battlenet has been the central nervous system for all Blizzard games.
So I'm excited to announce that Destiny 2 will be available for PC exclusively through Battlenet, Blizzard's online gaming service. Exclusively through Battlenet.
Exclusively through Battlenet.
Oops. Oh my god, Mike, you're such an adorable CEO.
Actually, if you've been with Blizzard for 5 years, we give you a sword. After 10 years, we give you a shield. And after 15 years, you get a ring. So there's my ring.
So everyone was dumbfounded and Blizzard chose to keep quiet for some time. But then on August 2017, just few months later after the name change to Blizzard app, Blizzard announced that it has decided to reverse the decision to retire Battlenet and has opted to merge the name Blizzard and Battlenet. Blizzard added that they have also decided to turn Battlenet's service into a marketplace to purchase and launch games. Blizzard officially stated, "When we announced that we would be transitioning away from the Battlenet name for our online gaming service, we suspected that the shift would be challenging. We understood that Battlenet stood for something special. It represents years of shared history and enjoyment, community and friendship for all of us and our players. Battlenet is the central nervous system for Blizzard games and the connective tissue that has brought Blizzard players together since 1996. The technology was never going to go away. But after giving the branding change further consideration and also hearing your feedback, we are in the agreement that the name should stay as well." So just few months after the Battlenet launcher was officially renamed to Blizzard app on March 2017, Blizzard finally decided to retain Battlenet brand. And I'm sorry, we could not be more happier. This move shows Blizzard's trepidation in dropping the recognized name, but it still baffles me that they considered to shift away from Battlenet in the first place. Though Battlenet has no doubt expanded as a streaming media platform and an online gaming market, but why fix something that is not broken? Battlenet is just too iconic. It has this amazing power to rev up players' nostalgia by softly whispering the phrase, "You are connected to Battlenet." Be it by design or accident, there is no denying the fact that Battlenet in some ways has become bigger than even Blizzard itself. Make sure to battle in your like and subscribe to us. We have loads of battle thingies coming up in the future. Next time Blizzard, rather than creating so much hassle and chaos by mishandling your brand, you can instead have me in your brand meeting to kick things straight for you. It will save you a lot of precious time and resources.
Well, it seems your terms are not acceptable.
This is Can Kicks kicking out.